Hi, this is Kathy and these are my top 5 Wednesday picks. If you don't know what top 5 Wednesdays are, I'll put a link in the description and it's mainly operated through a group on Goodreads. You can check it out there. You can post whenever you like, you can do it weekly, you can do it however much you want to do it. You can do it for a little while and then take 2 years off of doing whatever, then come back to your YouTube channel. Anyway, so the themes this month are all based around Halloween. So scary things related to spirits and supernatural, that sort of thing. So the theme this week is your top 5 favourite books with a certain type of paranormal creature in it, and you can choose whatever paranormal creature you want. I went with ghosts. They're technically not a creature as such, but they're the most interesting thing in the paranormal sort of realm, and I really love ghost stories. I'm going to do this in order of preference for how they operate as ghost stories, or how I liked the ghosts in the story, if that makes sense. So at number 5 I've got the classic ghost novella The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. This is a very famous ghost story and it's very short, and I do recommend that you read it. I didn't find it scary or really suspenseful at all. The dread is more in whether it's actually all happening or not. If you know the film The Others, it bears some similarities to that, so there are questions as to whether the ghosts are actually real or just the manifested fears of this nanny who's been brought in to look after these 2 little children. And it is very weird and creepy, and I just found it a little bit hard to get through, so that's why it's a bit further down the list. At number 4 I have got How to Be Both by Ali Smith. Now, How to Be Both is definitely not a horror story, it's not really a ghost story, but there are 2 main characters. One of them is from the Renaissance, the other is a modern day, and the one in the Renaissance seems to be almost attached to the person living today. The ghost thinks that they're in purgatory, but they're actually just sort of wandering around the modern day. And I just really loved the characters in this, and I really loved this book, How to Be Both. I know that some people are really into Ali Smith. I've read Autumn and I've read this one. I probably will. I've got Winter, so I will read that at some point, but to be honest, it's not a huge priority for me, but I do like her work. I'm not overwhelmed by my love for it, but I like it. Number 3 I actually got rid of when I moved from London to Cardiff because I got rid of loads of books. I will do a bookshelf tour at some point, but that is The Shining by Stephen King. This is a very famous ghost story and sort of supernatural tale. It was really creepy. I found particularly the maze scene to be particularly disturbing. It does differ quite a lot from the film, although I love the film as well. The bit that really got to me in the book was the elevator late at night. That's all I'll say. The second one I also don't have with me because I had it years ago, but it stuck with me, and that is Dark Matter by Michelle Paver. This is a really terrifying tale of an expedition that happens in the 1930s to the Arctic, where it's, you know, the middle of winter up there, so it's dark for most of the time, and these scientists who are doing experiments there start to see very strange things. She also wrote another book called Thin Air, which is more recent, and it's sort of similar, but it's about climbing up a mountain. I think it's set in Nepal. I'm fairly certain that it is Nepal in particular because I tend to notice those details because my boyfriend's parents are Nepalese. I really recommend Dark Matter for people who perhaps haven't read many ghost stories before and you don't want to go into the sometimes wading through of older ghost stories, so Victorian ghost stories for example. That's a really good one. And number 1 for the most effective ghost and the most terrifying read goes to Woman in Black by Susan Hill. I've also seen the play, which is very scary as well. I haven't seen the film with Daniel Radcliffe, partly because I've heard it's just not as good, and also because both when you read it and when you see it on stage there's just such tension there. The bit for me that always gets to me in the book is late at night with the dog and the locked door. If you like this video, then please give it a like. Please let me know what your favourite ghost stories are because I always love to find new ones. I've been watching The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix and I really want to read the book, but I've got so many books. I've also got 25 mysterious books arriving. They're all historical fiction, but I don't know what they are, so I will do an unboxing of that as well. If you happen to be interested in the Celtic period or the Iron Age period, Check out my other videos where I'm talking about the influence of Celtic art and culture in modern pop culture. Until then, take care.